saying like who you are,
Yeah.
like individual.
Go.
Yeah. So hi, my name is Brian Miranda.
I am Mexically.
I'm Mireia Gallardo.
I'm Hazel Guzman.
And Michael Cicluna.
So we're going to talk about how some of the strategies we have developed and some of the problems we have also seen with the outreach part. So we worked with Adam Tidwell and he provided us a lot of information of what's going on in outreach. So first of all, so they have a $1,000 budget, 500 for events and 500 for appointments, right? And their main goal is to reach out to companies that don't have a relationship with the PMI. So through this budget, they're able to pay for dinners or help them assist or give them assistance in their events. And their goal right now is to meet with 12 different companies throughout the year. So that means a company per month. However, there's not like a measurement of their success or saying how these if these meetings are going well or not, and if we see a fruit of them.
So there are 4 main topics that we want to suggest to PMI to implement into the outreach program. They are to create a strategy, establish a process, define success, and keep records. So the first one we're going to talk about is creating a strategy. So in creating a strategy, we're talking about the overall strategy of the outreach program. So there are certain things which, if done correctly and implemented over time, will increase the efficiency and the output of the outreach program. So some suggestions that we have is to set X amount of time each month to build a database of potential clients, to set an amount of time each month to actually reach out to those potentials, to set a goal for how many times they want to be going to lunches and doing events. So currently they have a goal of going to 1 lunch per month, but they don't have any goals as to how many events they want to do per year. So whether that be 1 every 3 months, 1 every 4 months, or 1 a year, so having a goal will push them to actually achieve that. Maybe to spend X amount of hours per month following up with those that they have reached out to set aside time specifically after they've met with people to keep records. All of these things need to be in the strategy so that they know when we're going to do something, we know the process that's going to happen in order for us to implement this outreach.
So as part of the things they need to do is to have a process of the outreach, that it is consistent and it can be something that could be passed on when the new person comes in, since every academic year they change a person in charge. So we kind of set some parameters that a visit should have, or an appointment or meeting should have. First, they have to reach out to potential companies they want to meet. Could be by phone or email. And these companies, because their potential should have certain things that can make them more likely to accept and establish a relationship with PMI. Also, when they meet, they have to spend some time with this person to get to know that person. So then you establish a relationship where this person can actually trust you and build from there. The third one is discuss what are some of the needs of the person himself or of the company, that we can know how we can assist them, and from there explain how and why PMI is good for the company, why it's good and how they can assist them, or the services they can provide, or trainings. And we have they pay for the meal. That's why there's $500, and then ask and send an appointment. It could be a follow-up through an email, or just another visit, or even a phone call, so that there's always a follow-up with everyone and the relationship can improve.
Another recommendation that we came up as a team is to keep records. We consider really important in any project to be documented, because that's what actually leads to success or failure. And it is really important for them to keep track of all the information whenever they meet with any organization, because we consider inefficient to because this is a yearly project. So if a new person comes and is in charge of the project, we feel it will be a frustration to start over again. And so a couple of things that we think that it should be included. So it's the details of the person that they meet with, details of the organization, notes on how the meeting went, the notes of the person of organization, if a follow-up was set, and anything else that the person considered really important to keep. And we consider these will have a great effect on this plan, and will help to have a better success on this project.
And our one of the final things that we came up with is how do you measure your success? And you can go back to the basics of how you can measure success, and we decided that going back to generating leads, doing the who, what, where, when thing, how many leads are generated from an event? When you create an event, who came to your event? Who did you get feedback from your event? Who would like to come back to your event? What leads came from that event? Did you ask for suggestions? Did you ask for concerns? Did you ask for feedback from that event that you're creating? Some of the things that we suggest are coming up with referrals that you can receive from an event. That gives you the feedback of the people that are coming into your event. Again, going back to the simple who, what, where, when, and why, and answer all those questions from those referrals that you generate for them. Come up with sign-up sheets for your participants, maybe for other events. Grab them ahead of time before they leave, and that way you have a commitment for them for future events. Some more suggestions maybe are the person that signed up, who agreed to do what, follow up with the visits and follow up with the referrals. So when you grab those referrals and you have them in your hands, what are you doing with those referrals? Are you just kind of setting them apart or aside, and are they creating anything for you, or are you yourself creating anything for the referrals? Go back and look at the people that signed up, follow up with them, contact them, make and build a rapport for them so that when they come back to an event, you've already built that rapport. You just build upon that relationship that you've created with them. Success can be built in many different ways for many different companies, but those are just a couple of suggestions that we have as far as for you guys.
So also, you want to be following up when you extend your commitment to the person you're working with. You want to see how they're doing, if they have done it, or whether they haven't, and you got to take it from there. So we have 4 things here that you might want to consider when you're following up. You want to know, well, first of all, you got to have a goal for the follow-up. What is it that you want to get from it? And have that in mind and tailor the follow-up based off of that. You got to know the person who you're working with. Just know them, and again, tailor the follow-up to that person so you make it interesting versus a very robotic follow-up where people are just, oh, whatever, they just want to benefit from this. Like, they don't really know me, they don't care about me. Know who they are. When you're spending time with them on the events, make sure you really take time to get to know them and use that for your advantage when you're following up. When you're doing a follow-up, go the extra mile. Make sure, don't just make it boring. Like I said, like, just make it memorable. Make them think of you. Like, wow, like a person has never done that before. That caught my attention. Just make it interesting. Also add value to the follow-up. Make the partner you're working with or the company, make them feel like they're gaining something from it, and make sure you highlight that, like, we're here to help you, this is what we have to offer for you, and make sure that's that gets stuck to them. They make sure that that gets across, and that's just a couple. These 4 ways are just some suggestions for you to utilize when you're performing your follow-up, because the follow-up is probably the most important part. That's how you're gonna know if what you have done previously, if it was effective or not, and you can go from there.
So, oh, excuse me. So in closing, remember that, so the 4 suggestions that we have, number 1 was to create a strategy. When you create a strategy, you know what your end goal is. So go in with the end goal in mind. Establish a process. Find out how you're going to talk to your clients. How are you going to lure them in to stay with you? How are you going to lure them in to have them finish the project? How are you going to build a relationship with them? Define your success. How are you measuring that success? How are you making sure that what you have done is not only a successful thing for you, but for your future projects? And in the end, just keep records. Those records are going to determine whether you need to do something new in the future, or you need to change something, or you simply just need to keep the same strategy that you have that you started with. Success can also be measured by the amount of relationships that you build. So building that initial relationship with your client is our main suggestion for you. So thank you.